Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Oh, that was wheat sauce. Do it again. Good afternoon, everyone.
Morning.
It's better. All right, we have a lot of stuff to go over today. I'm going to be jumping right in. Please make sure you have handouts. We got a lot of stuff for you guys to be able to utilize during your consultations with clients. As well as, especially with sellers, there's a lot of information for sellers, which you guys are really going to want to utilize this in your business. So I'm going to kick things off. Obviously, please silence your cell phones, your beepers, your pagers, your iWatches, your iPhones, your Androids. Today's theme is back to basics. Welcome to class. You are definitely going to get a lot of information, like I said. First and foremost, congratulations to Mr. Josh Hall. Came a Good Neighbor Award from Realtor Association for Mary Bridge Children's Hospital for all of the donations and gifts, fundraisers he's been doing for decades. Really cool. Very happy for Josh. I know he's on a river. He's paddling somewhere upstream. But anyway, if you see him, give him a good time and you know, bust his chops a little bit and say, good job.
Also with that, if any of our realtors are doing Good Neighbor Award, if you want to nominate them, just let me know.
Good idea. Thank you, Tony. Yeah. And with that, we're going to have a marketing update with Ashley. Come on up.
Okay.
It's the right color. Missing button, pretty much. So worn out.
Okay, so hi everyone. In getting back to basics, I'm trying to help everyone focus on the things that maybe you haven't touched in a while or thought about. Low-hanging fruit to come off as just more professional and more trustworthy, and to show that you're intentional about even the little things. So the big thing right now that I want to help everyone with is your email signatures. Something that was interesting that I learned that I didn't know is that Washington state law counts your marketing signature or your email signature as a form of marketing, digital marketing, and as an identity block. So when you're introducing yourself as an agent and you're putting like real estate agent or whatever your title is, you have to list by law the brokerage that you're with. And then of course everything else is just added, but important still. So this is a little thing that I made. So I sent out an email. If you guys didn't see it, it's okay. Because we're going over now. So basically things that you want to check on for your email signature. Your headshot really should be less than 5 years old. I know that that's an annoying thing and people don't necessarily want to pay for that. It's an added expense, but it is really important just to keep that up to date so that you're recognizable and that it's accurate. The John L. Scott name and branding need to be included somewhere. So if it's not included in the John L. Scott logo, full logo, it should be like on this one, John L. Scott Real Estate at North, just to comply with legal things. And then all your contact information should be included and up to date. Things like if you have your office, like the office phone number instead of your personal, things like that. Just make sure that everything's going to where you want it to go, because it really is a digital business card, basically, is what that is. And then personal logo, if you have one, definitely include that. That's just more branding for yourself. And image, you're able to link things. So that's, again, just low-hanging fruit. It's an easy step. Make sure that your email signature is linking to something, whether it be your Facebook, your Google business profile, website, whatever it is. And then that your title is clearly defined too. This is also a legal thing. So again, if you don't pay for the realtor, don't say realtor, but you need to say somewhere what your title is. And then, of course, the design should be cohesive and easy to read, because it's just too easy to have it look good. So, especially with the marketing request form. So, on the marketing request, there is now a section that says email signature. If you guys want to click that, just put in your information. It's so easy. I'll take care of the rest, send it to you. All you have to do is upload it. And that's it. And if you want custom too, there's also that option. So if the ones that you see you don't like, you're not feeling them, totally fine. Just let me know, send me your vision, and we'll work on it. That's it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Awesome. Thank you, Ashley. All right, are you on the board? You on the listing board, that is. Holy moly, July was hopping. 110 new listings. That's a lot. I think that's our highest in any month the whole year, I think. It's, you guys were active, man. So today we're giving away a couple of Amazon $50 gift cards.
Thanks, Brandon.
So to draw, must be present to win.
All right.
Who is the first one going?
Oh, Alex, tell me.
Tillman. All right. Good job. Good job, dude. Come on.
Turn it into Ash. So
There you go.
thank you.
All right, next winner. Good job, man. Thank you.
Yvonne Grace.
Steve. Good job, you guys. More listings, more prices. That's how it works. Good job. All right, broker highlight. I'd like to invite our very own Miss Vanessa Betcourt. Come on up. Vanessa. I only have 50 questions for you. I know. All right, Vanessa. If you had to start your business from scratch today, what would you focus on first?
I would time block, and I would probably sit at open houses every day and make my calls and just work from open house and pretend like the open houses were my office. But I would find open houses strategically, not just any open house, something close to like the main street. That's what I would do.
That's pretty smart. All right. How do you build trust with a client from the very first conversation?
I ask a lot of questions and I let them talk. I try to keep the talking to a minimum and just repeat what they say so they feel like they're being listened to, and try to just meet them where they're at. Some people, they just want to talk, so I just listen.
That's good. That's also very, very wise. What's your go-to karaoke song?
I don't really have, you don't want to hear me karaoke, but if I have a couple of glasses of wine, it would be in Spanish, and none of you guys would probably know the song. But if I had to choose an English karaoke song, it would probably be Juicy.
All right.
Yeah.
That works. All right, last question. What was your very first job?
I was a telemarketer. So remember PT Cruisers back in the day when they would have them like in the mall and you had to fill out the little slip? Well, if you filled out the slip, you probably got a call from me inviting you to a timeshare.
Nice.
And every time we would get somebody to show up in a timeshare, I got like $50. And I was like 14. I wasn't even 15. I don't know how I got hired, but that was my first job.
I believe it. Right on. Let's give her a big round of applause.
Yes.
Oh,
So, part of being a realtor is, helping people create wealth and success and all those things. But the other thing that's more satisfying is what you give back to people and how you show up to people. And Vanessa has been under the radar, but she has done some tremendous things about giving back to people she cares about, the community, especially the community back home in Colombia. She's raised countless and countless of funds, school supply drives every year for students that are unable to afford those, and boys and all of those kind of things. Most currently, you've heard about the earthquakes in Colombia, devastation in Colombia. She's been raising money, sending money back for supplies, food, diapers, bought a generator, raised enough money to buy a generator for power for people in Colombia whose lives have been devastated. So, she really exemplifies, what it is about to be a realtor. It's about giving back and making a difference in other people's lives, all the while, the business is making a difference in your life. So just want to congratulate you.
Thank you. I thought about like mentioning Colombia, but I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna do it. But now that you mentioned it, thank you so much. There was a devastating earthquake on the 10th, 7.4. There's like 300 people that are dead, thousands missing. So if you can donate to the Red Cross, to anybody, just, luckily my family's okay, but still it's hard.
Good work. I got. Why we highlight our special people here. All right, market conditions. I have a lot of information for you guys. A lot of this came from Brian Buffini's half-yearly review that happened at the end of July. Some really good points. Some of these handouts are in here, so you guys will be able to utilize this for your business. But national active listings remain higher than a year ago. Looking to 2026, the direction is still up, even if the climb is steady rather than steep. Life events nudge more owners to move. The lock on all those existing homeowners with sub 4% mortgage loosens at the margins, and completions add more options for buyers. Cooling price growth looked different across the country. You can see Washington's there is 1.4% in home price change. National average is 2.3%. 17 states are back above 2019 inventory levels. Inventory shifts between December 2019 and December 2025. National average inventory is still 5.5% below December 2019 levels, and Washington's at 29%. While some major housing markets are still seeing mildly positive year-over-year appreciation, the rate of appreciation has decelerated almost everywhere over the past year. Good news, though, on all of that front is still that the mortgage rates have trended lower over that whole time since January 2025. Aaron, I won't steal his thunder, but he'll talk a little bit about why that happened and what is that really about. But boomers dominate the market, ages 62 to 80, 42% of buyers right now, 55% of sellers, and 42% of them are paying in all cash. If you don't have any baby boomers in your database, it could be a reason why business might be a little flat for you. Millennial market share, it's ages 30 to 45. 29% in 2025, but in 2026, so far it's only 26%. First-time homebuyer age, this is pretty crazy. 1991 average was 27 years old. 2008, 30. 2019, 33 years old. And then this year is projected for a first-time homebuyer's average age, 41 years old. Wow. Pretty crazy. Americans under 30 living with a parent. 2019, it was 37%. 2026 so far is 49%. Anybody got under 30 living with a parent?
Moving back.
Moving back? A lot of that, yeah.
Are you on 30?
Yeah. Estimated percent of 30-year-olds who are both married and homeowners in the United States. Look at that, in 1960, average of 52%. In 2020, it's dropped to 12%. Oh, that's the magic sound. And when you guys hear that, you're supposed to stand up, do a turn. No, I'm kidding. That means that this slide is in your handout. This is an important slide. You really want to utilize stuff like this during your appointments with clients. What do you think? Who do you think this is really made for? Buyers. Buyers. Yeah. Aaron, a few probably years ago, he brought us that slide he put together. It was never betting against the champ, right? It was like a boxing kind of theme he had, and it was all these years. This is a little bit more clearly laid out. It shows everything from 1956 until 2025. We obviously don't have 2026 numbers until the year finishes, but it shows you the percentage of appreciation. There are some zeros in there where it was flat. This year, right, for 2026, could be maybe flat or maybe just barely under. Right now, we're still under the 1%, but barely under it. So could be positive. So it's hard to tell what the year will finish out like. But this is a fantastic slide. You should definitely show this to buyers or make a social media post. Say, can you believe this? Like, look at this. This is what real estate has done in the United States since 1956. Really good slide to utilize. Here's some things about production. 46% of agents made less than 40 grand in the United States. 20% made 150,000 and above. The majority of transactions were generated by repeat customers and referrals. The typical agent worked 35 hours a week. Jim, do you remember Seattle's numbers? I remember it.
Yeah, it was closer to 50%. No, it was like 35% made over 150.
Yeah.
Maybe 30% less than 40. It was better because prices are higher, the economy's better, job market's better, and all those types of things. So the local numbers skewed.
So here's some things I thought was very interesting. How agents spend their day. 29% social media, 18% on email, 19% of admin, 31% of errands, only 3% talking with clients. If business is flat for you, my hunch is you might be less than that percentage of the time you're talking with clients.
46% they vendor or whatever.
Yeah. Agent count during the post-pandemic, right? In 2020, we're at 1.4 million, 1.6 in 2022, because everybody saw how easy it was, right? 2021. 1.4 million in 2025. Projection in 2027 is only 1.6 to 2028, even less. They're projecting less and less people doing business. Because it's hard. It's hard work. Working for free until you finally get paid, right? Mm-hmm. So less competition, more potential sales. So there's some positive news in here, even though a lot of this is negative. But here's also another one in your handout. So why I work by referral, approximately 50%, I'm thinking, of all buyer transactions and 60% of seller transactions are conducted through an existing relationship. That's the key phrase in that, is an existing relationship. 89% of buyers and 85% of sellers would use their agent again or refer them to others. There's no lead more powerful than one referred from someone you know, someone who knows you, trusts you, and will put their name to you. It just kind of reiterates all the same facts that Lennox talks about, right? Relationships are more important than transactions. You are the backbone of my business. Service that continues after the sale. And that's the key part that you've got to continue doing after all of your past clients, is keeping in touch.
You know, one of your statistics said that baby boomers make up the majority of sales, right? Earlier, that's 62 to 80. Now, a lot of you guys aren't baby boomers. You guys are whatever you are, a lot younger. And what I hear from you guys is, you know, everyone in my database is young. You know, they're renting, they don't have a career going because, you know, it's longer before people buy houses now. Understand that everybody in the database who's young has parents that are baby boomers and that they're still alive. And the majority of baby boomers, I don't know what the number was, 60-something%, 2/3 of them have, you know, a free and clear home. So they've got a lot of money and they're looking to downsize, they're looking to, you know, move out, they're looking to invest, they're looking for estate planning, they're looking for a lot of real estate services. So a lot of your database's parents are in need of real estate services. So don't neglect the fact that there's not opportunity within your own database, because there's a shit ton of opportunity in your database. Because it's the number, the stats.
It's all about how are you engaging with your sphere and talking to them about their real estate or their parents or family members' real estate needs. With all that talk we just went through, right? It sounds negative, huh? Like, oh boy. But did you guys realize, why did that thing not work? There we go. That, I don't know why it's auto advancing, but Northwest MLS closed sales. That is weird. I don't know why it's doing that. But broker sold 6,649 listings in the Northwest MLS in July. You guys notice that many? Total dollar volume, 5,364,307,460. And that is residential and condo sales only. That's a lot of business. That happened. This is real data. So for those of you that say, oh, the market sucks, there's nothing happening, it's tough. That just happened and it flew right by you, just like the slide did. But the point is that sales are happening all the time, every single month. Every single month that's been happening. The question is, how many of those sales can you get? Sales happen from conversations with people. If you're just not getting engaged and talking with more people, you're just not going to get those sales. But they're happening. All right, now let's look at the actual market data. Right now we are in for the 6 phases to the yearly housing cycle. We are in August. This is where the cool down begins, right? Listings will start dropping off. Let's look individually at Pierce and King County. This is the 7-day market watch for just King County residential only. 570 new listings came on. Back on market was 58. Price reduced almost outpaced the new listings at 549. Prices increased 19. Most of those were new construction, contingent 8. Listings expired 64.
Was canceled.
Canceled 222. High percentage of the cancels are doing what? You're both right. Price reducing greater than 5%, and then coming back on, repositioning on the market, right? One of our brokers was telling me that they had a listing that was just over 500 grand. I think they only had, in the almost month and a half, I think they had 3 showings the whole time. They told the seller, hey, it's time for, we talked about this during the beginning of the listing. We need to price reduce. This is the time now, to do something. And they asked our broker, what do you think? Where do we need to be? And our broker said, we need to reduce to 495. We got to be under 500,000. And they said, what? But that's over 22 grand, or whatever. And they said, I know, it sounds like that's a lot, but this is where we need to be if you truly want to sell. Because it's going to do 2 things. One, we're going to beat our competition, because in the neighborhoods, there's some other houses that are in the 518s and 529s and 512, right? We're going to beat all of them. So we're going to capture all of that buyer pool, plus we're going to capture all of the buyers that have been searching to a max price of 500 grand and they never even saw our home. So they said, do you think this is going to work? They said, it's got to. Because after that, then it's not the price. It's something else. So they canceled it, relisted it, went on the market. They had 4 showings scheduled on the first day. Back on the market.
What area?
Kent. Yeah. So it was just, it's all about repositioning. We're going to dive in deep on some other numbers and stuff later, but it makes more sense. All right. Also in your handouts, we got some of the very large printouts. I went through and marked these so you guys can see on those blue lines on these are yellow on this one, but on the blue lines, that's all the Julys. You can compare July to July to July to July, all the way through. Lots of interesting points for this. You guys can utilize this to show sellers. This is King County residential and condo. The Alan Pope charts, it's always been combined. I really wish they'd separate them, but it only shows condo and residential together. But these are great listing tools. These are great for buyers too, to be able to explain the market. Also in your handout is the absorption. Now this one's printed and it's a little bit trickier because the absorption differences were so high in 2021 that it was so off the charts that they had to print it sideways. They had to go flip from landscape to portrait. I put this one on its side and just kind of like lined up the lines so you can see also July. And at the very top of this handout, you can kind of see what the absorption has done. The absorption is what of how many listings there are and how many went off the market, so pending. So you can see what is happening. But I've got, I've been working with AI obviously for many years. I'm a bit of a nerd. You guys know this. So I've been putting a bunch of charts and graphs into AI and having it like go through and find me very different, like pinpoint information that you guys would be able to use during your consultations. And here's some really key things that it found, even some things I didn't even recognize. First is that July inventory is up almost 17% year over year, while pendings are down. Pretty clear evidence of that one. That one didn't shock me. Buyers have regained something they haven't had for years. Options. I mean, that is definitely clear, right? With rise of inventory, more selection, doesn't quite shock me. This explains the we're getting showings, but no offers phenomenon. Anybody having that situation right now? That's it? That's for your listings? Yeah. Okay. And number 4, there's another subtle warning. Inventory continued climbing after the traditional spring surge. So that's something that's definitely different this year. The spring surge brought on more listings. And typically the absorption gets those listings, but it didn't quite happen this year. The war, energy costs, wages not quite up to as high as increase of inflation, and of course inventory levels, all of that stuff, and interest rates have all made that perfect storm. But next thing though is it talks about is that showings equals offers. Price, condition, and presentation are determining who gets the offer. So it's not just the price, but it's bringing in all of those other factors together on who's actually going to get the buyer. We don't have that. Oh, need a photo? No. All right. But here's some last points. Buyers are looking. Did you guys know that this year there are actually more showings than last year at this point? Almost 10,000. So 0.9% key box activity January through July of 2026 versus 2025. But they have more choices. 17% more choices than last year. King County inventory for July 2026 versus July 2025. And fewer homes are winning the buyer. Less 4.6% King County net pending sales for July 2026 versus July 2025. I love this part that it came up with. The buyer didn't disappear. Their leverage returned. That to me is the story in these numbers. And it changes the seller conversation from we need to wait for more buyers, which how many of you have been saying that to sellers right now? I know that's been a topic, right, of choice that's been said. 2, we need to make sure we're the property today's buyers choose. It really kind of completes everything about all that data. With that much competition, it's all about who has the best listing, the best curb appeal. It's got to show its best above everyone else to win the buyers. Has anybody dealt with any multiple offers? You have, huh? Still happening. Where at? What markets? John?
Seattle.
Seattle, SeaTac, Maple Valley,
Ken.
Kent. It's still happening. My hunch is that property probably outshined all of the competition in all those items I was talking about on why it got multiple offers. If you do it right from the beginning, it will sell. Everything sells at the right price. All right, King County in July, active total listings from last year's 4,274, this year 5,342. Pendings, you can see for July 1721 compared to last year 1943. King County months of inventory year over year for just residential, you can see it's just 3.3 for July compared to 2.5 last year. And then condos are where it is truly shifted. 5.9 month supply compared to 4.2 last year. It is for sure a neutral market. It's a buyer's market for condos in King County. You can pretty much report it. You're a buyer, you're looking for a condo. Not only do you have options, but you got leverage. Call me and I will tell you the best deal in all of Seattle. Boom, there's your video for Instagram. In your handouts, you do have the King County residential only. Total new listings was 3118. Last year, same time, was pretty evil, 2,666. Total active was 5,342. Last year, same time, is 4,274. That's a 25% increase in inventory for July in residential only. Pendings was 1721. Last year was 1943. That's only off barely 11.5%. Close was 1600. Same time last year was 1778. That's only off 10%. Pricing has not really moved that much. Like, that's been kind of keeping in the trend since after the spring market was 995, and last year at this time was $1 million even. So it's barely off 0.50%. But months of inventory for single family residential, King County only is 3.34. So what market is that? Is that still a seller's market? Yeah, still a seller's market, not quite as strong as one. What happens every single time of this year? What are people doing? What's going on right now? Where's your clients?
Vacation.
Vacations. Got to get the vacations done. And then what's next? School, back to school shopping. Wedding season is just about kind of like dropping off now, right? It's slowing down. So if you're like, what's going on? This happens every single year. So you already know like what the activity is going to be like. All right, let's look at the condos. This one is also in your handout. New listings, condos, King County was 1,006. Same time last year was 88.6. Total actives, 2,494. Last year, same time was 2,063. It's 21% increase. Pendings is 447. Last year, same time was 563. It's down 21%. Closed 422. Last year, same time was 518. You're off 18.5%. Price for median closed sales, it's 519,975. Last year, same time was 530. It's off almost 2%. And then there's that month supply of 5.91%. You are just on the cusp of, it's a buyer's market for condos. So you got condo listings. Use this data for your sellers. You got condo buyers or you want some buyers. Start putting this out. The more people that put this out into social media, right? It breathes, it's live. People can see what's going on. This can bring you business from people you don't know. Utilize it. All right, let's look at Pierce County for July. Active listings last year was 2457. This year's 2918. Pendings year over year was 1109. Last year was 1162. Not too crazy for Pierce County. Let's look at the months of inventory. Pierce County residential year over year. We had a 3-month supply this year to July, and last year for July was 2.5. Condos, pretty close story, 3.6 last year. This year 3.4. Actually, less supply this year than last year. So anybody shopping for condos in Pierce County, totally different story. So it's stuff like that. You can utilize that for your sellers. Okay, Pierce County residential only. I don't print these out and put them into the handouts because it adds another 6 pages. Because Pierce County, I don't know why, they must have were bored, so they added way more MLS areas that are necessary for Pierce County, but they did. Total new listings was 1493. Last year, same time, was 1377. Total active is 2918. Last year was 2457. That's up almost 19%. Pendings was 1109. Last year, same time, was 1162. It's barely off 4.5%. Close was 969 in July. Last year was 971. It's barely off 0.21%. 589,999 is the average price for Pierce County single family residential. Last year, same time, was 579,950. It's up almost 2% with barely 3-month supply. Polar opposite for Pierce County to King County. Kitsap, even different. Their market's even stronger. There's lots of pockets of areas and stuff, obviously, that are weak. Stuff like that. Obviously, look at the MLS areas and you can really break it down for what you're trying to look at. But there's just different stories that you guys need to know. You must know this information if you're in real estate. If you don't know this, I don't even know why you would be in the business, to be able to tell clients what is going on. Condos, a little different story. 109 new listings, 105 last year, 256 total active. Last year, 252. It's barely off 1.6%. 81 went pending. 88 was last year, barely off 8%. 75 closed in July. Last year was 70. It's up 7.14%. Median price $415. Last year 404.5. It's up 2.6%. And a 3.41 month supply for Pierce County condos. Different story. Way different. All right, key box activity statistics. I throw this at you guys too. It's been trending down. No doubt. We just talked about why is it slower right now? Duh. We just talked about that. You can see compared to last year, here's all the lines of show box activity. You can see in the months to where it increased. What happened in January? Why did all of a sudden at the end of January, why in February did way more showings happen? It normally happens anyway, but not that much. What happened in the beginning of the year? I know it's a long time ago. Rates went what? Down. Under what? Under 6% for the first time since when? 2022. It's a huge story, right? That's what, oh boy, everyone's like, yes, we're finally back. Business is churning. Things are happening. And then, then a whole bunch of stuff happened, right? Aaron will talk about that here shortly, but there's lots of good data in this that you can talk about. Of course, I threw it in OpenAI, and I said, here's what artificial intelligence has to say about this showing time data. Buyer showing activity in 2026 is remarkably resilient. It's not collapsing. The bigger issue appears to be conversion, affordability, property condition, and pricing, not the absence of buyers physically looking at homes. So 2026 showing activity is actually slightly ahead of 2025. So last year from January through July, there were 1,060,656 showings. This year, there's 1,070,303. It's up 9,647 showings. You're up almost 1%. Crazy, huh? Does it seem like that is accurate? No, huh? Like so many people I hear on there, oh no, this year's way worse than last year. It's so much harder. Like, yeah, I agree with it so much harder, the last part. But showings are happening. Despite all of the conversations about higher rates, affordability, economic uncertainty, increased inventory, and listings taking longer to sell, buyers have opened approximately 9,600 more Northwest MLS key boxes through July this year than during the same period last year. So when a seller says there just aren't any buyers, the data suggests that isn't quite right. Buyers are out there, they're just being much more selective about what they buy.
Eric, in your data drill, did you break it out by MLS areas?
No. This is as a whole.
Okay.
Yeah. Key box activity is Washington. It's all of the MLS.
I was just gonna say though, there is so much more inventory, so that's, they may not be more buyers. I mean, they are out there, but the same buyer now just goes up all 4 houses on the block and looks at all of them, when prior there was no other houses to look at.
Yeah.
So there's more doors are opening, but same or less amount of buyers.
This goes way back to my point about it's the shiniest listing.
I get it.
The one that's actually gonna sell. You already know, like I was driving in this morning, someone called me and said, oh, I got a seller, they want to put this house on. They got no money to fix it. They got a failed septic system. What are my choices here? I'm like, well, you don't have to take the listing for one, right? That's one thing you don't have to do. That's the beauty of this business. You guys all got a license so you can work when you want to work. It's all about the condition though, right? I mean, if you know it, they can't afford to fix the septic system. Everything will sell at the right price, but you're going to have that conversation. It's an all cash deal, investor deal, whatever. But if you're going to try to put this on and like, oh, let's try a price point out, like, don't waste your time. Just don't do it. All right, with that, oh, Jim.
I want to revisit something. So I'm looking at this, get out your Allen Pope chart again, this long chart that Eric had. Because it's out, so one of the things you need to realize about this chart is it's really good. I mean, it's very interesting historically, but the main tool, and I think the main value of this is the forecasting. It's a forecasting tool for your buyer strategy. It's a forecasting tool for how you're managing the conversation with your sellers, but it's also a forecasting tool for your business as well, okay? And how you need to change or modify your business, from this point forward, at least between now and the end of the year. So what I want to look at, because we're talking about getting listings sold, and we're in the third quarter of this cycle or whatever, the housing cycle. Look at last year's August to September net pending sales, and look at this year's the year before August to September net pending sales. Then there's 24 and 25. What do you notice about net pending sales between August and September? They go up, they go up, okay, a little bit. So if you guys are talking about reducing prices on the listings and giving it one last Hail Mary, if you manage the seller's expectations and show them what the data shows and the trends, it shows between August and September, last couple of years, we've had an uptick in sales. So if there's any prayer of getting a buyer for your home that we don't have so far, then we can get it positioned right for the marketplace. At least do all we can right now and get this thing under contract by the end of September, because the end of September, what happens with net pending sales? Okay, so what you want to do is you want to use data to forecast, not look back. Bill Clinton had a saying that said, statistics are meant to be sniffed, not inhaled. Okay, meaning, yeah, they're okay, but it doesn't really project the future. Okay, it's nice to know. It's just stuck, okay? And so we just have to really say, where is it going, not where it's been. And it's very easy to predict what the market is gonna do, looking at a chart like this. I mean, what does this tell me right now? There's a ton of listings on the market, like Eric says. You know, sales are kind of going in conjunction with what they usually do. We'll have a little uptick in September, but what's my strategy? Okay, for the listings I have on the market now, what am I showing them? What am I telling them? But what's also my strategy for my business between now and the year into the spring, into the spring market, and how I'm going to reshape my business or reset what I need to do, or maybe get some new skills to lead, you know, to meet the demands of the market. I mean, not where it's been. Okay, got it? So utilize these tools. If you have any more questions about it, let me know.
After, come on up.
Mortgage Minute.
Mortgage minute,
Mortgage minute.
mortgage couple minutes. Good morning. Afternoon. Okay. What's going on? Let's take a look. On today's episode, what do we have? The price of oil. Actually, it's $5 more expensive today than when I put this together yesterday. So your $5.99 is probably $6.10 at the gas station. I always love when they talk about the average. You know, like where's the $3 gas, right? Or $3.95, whatever it is. I don't have those.
Mexico.
There it is. Really? Yeah. Big bucks. There you go. So yeah, that's just one of the pressure points that we have. The other thing is that the Fed Reserve didn't change interest rates. And so just so you know, there's 12 members of the Fed, and on a 93 vote, they cut the rates the same. So the Fed chairman only has one vote. He doesn't have multiple votes. He's not overly weighted, I guess if you say. And then you need 7 votes to make a change to the rate. So that didn't so they didn't change it. So again, depending on just every president has put people on the board, and they're kind of all different ones. So it's not really a consensus. So one person does have more sway than the other, but Fed rates stay the same. What does that mean? Here's the Fed rate charts all the way from 1980. You can see everything skewed, higher. And then you can see how low it was back in 2010. It just stayed low, stayed low, up and then down, went up because of the inflation. Now we're back down to 6.75%. So that's what you pay for like home equity lines of credit and those kinds of things. Your savings accounts are based upon this too. And so the thing is, with the 10-year treasury today, we're at 4.639. It's actually like 4.703 or something like that. So it's bumped up a bit. So the market's actually built in. So here's the thing about this. The 10-year treasury is built in the fact that the Fed's going to increase rates maybe by 1/4 to 1/2 point. They've already built it in. The Fed hasn't changed the rate yet, which kind of sucks because if I had my savings account and they increase the interest rate, I'll get more money in my savings account. So I'm getting the double whammy, right? They're not raising it and everything's higher. But the one thing we notice about this, and you'll see this in the headlines, is that, it's the highest the 10-year treasury has been in 2 years, blah, 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 blah. But what you'll see is that margin is actually condensed and stayed lower. So if the margin back in 2023 or 2023, that margin was over 3%. That's the reason why we have over 7%, 7.5% interest rates. If this margin keeps staying lower, which it has, then it's not breaking that 7% barrier. That kind of makes sense. So if you take a look at over here, here's the rate today, just a little bit below 6.75, somewhere around there. Okay, which isn't terrible. 3 years ago, this would have been 7.5%. So I guess in some ways we're lucky, right? And then last year at this time, 6.5. They were at 6.75, right? Probably a difference of $150 maybe a month in payment, maybe. And if you average it out, not terrible. And then arms around maybe 6.375. Okay. So probability next couple weeks, we're probably in this range, probably up to 4.6, 50%. That 10-year treasury will stay around 4.6. Let's keep interest rates probably in the high 6s, right? So at this point, what do I do? Do you lock or float? Hey, if I'm closing in 30 days, I'm locking this rate. Even though there might be a chance it goes down, there's probably more likelihood it's going to go up. So those are the kinds of things I talk to people every day. To get excited about buying a house, then the next part is what do we want to do? And so if we're going to go about 30 days, we might take a look at just floating around a bit, see what happens, especially with new construction or if we're closing in 60 days. So I was trying to, I feel that this is the thing. I do the same thing you do.
the market isn't growing your piece needs to. So in other words, it's like a piece of the pie, right? This represents the amount of transactions we had in 2021, which is 6 million. This is new, this is residential existing home transactions. Then you can see it slowly taper down. 2023, it was 4.09, 2024 is about 4 million, and today it's about 4 million too. So the idea is, if I do nothing, my pie gets smaller, right? So what do I do to keep my pie, get the bigger piece of the pie? Because I'm not going to grow business because there's more transactions. I'm stuck with what we have. How to make that pie bigger? So I do those same things that you go through. What do I do? How do I create more of that pie for myself? Right? Well, getting that pie. So I'll go back in a second. Condo. There's some changes. So these changes are effective immediately. So before we had, if you have a condo, now we were doing. There was no review period for condos if you do between 2 and 10 units. So if it's 2 and 10 units, there's no condo review anymore. Or there's no, you don't have to do a condo review, which is great. Smiley face. Now, also investment property. So if I buy a condo if I buy an investment property in a condo, and it's more than 50% rented as rentals, then I wasn't able to do it. This has gone away. So effective immediately, I can buy if out of the 100 condos, 99 are rentals. I can buy the other one and make it 100% rental too. Awesome. Right? That's a good thing. Smiley face. Now, down face. So the thing is, there's no limited or streamlined reviews anymore. So before, when we were doing a project review, depending on how much they were putting down and what the computer system said, we could do a limited review. Basically, just take a look at the condo cert, or the condo station. Resale cert, and have them, and that's kind of what we would use. Somewhat the same questions. Now that's going away. Okay, so again, if it's more than 10 units, we have to do a full review. They're going to look at the budget and reserves. Okay, and then at the beginning of next year, they will look for reserve allocations to increase from 10 to 50%. So if we're doing a full review, so the difference on a full review, we're looking at the budgets, reserves, and stuff like that. Limited review warrant. Okay, just be aware. So if you have a listing and you're not sure if it's going to be a dog or not, let me know. I can run it by my condo team, and they can tell us what issues might be in place. Okay. Be more than glad to do that for you. So here we go. What do we do? How are we unique? This is the listing that was it was someone's listing that we had in the office here. And then I knew the selling agent over in Seattle. Okay. So I kind of was in between. So this is what it looked like on this appraisal. Okay. This, see, you know, this looks like state of Washington, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
And that plaque was removed, and that's what you see. Oh, there's that one. I don't know who died, but someone did maybe. And there's other stuff, right? So this is part of the appraisal. The roof or the ceiling. Ceiling.
Oh.
No mirror. I don't know what that is. Still growing over here. I don't know. But anyhow, the reason I bring this up. There you can see the magnets. Okay. That's right. So anyhow, this was subject to. So the appraiser said subject to, and here's the thing that made it interesting: interior wall paint to cover the smoke stained walls, replacement of fair condition of the carpeting, repair the kitchen sink, and repair damaged ceiling. Why would the appraiser call that out? Which I've never, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's still functional a bit, but I've never seen the appraiser call for painting the wall. You know what I mean? And so I get this call. I'm like, hey, why are we doing this? This appraiser just, what's going on? This is a bad appraisal. Well, here's the thing you should know, and I learned this too, is that when you, let's see if I can find it. This came back, the appraisal came back as a C5. So when you do an appraisal, there's different conditions from C1 to C5, or I think C6, okay? And all the way through, it just means the condition of the house. So this came back as a C5, where it says the improvements featured obvious deferred maintenance or in need of some significant repairs. So building components need repairs, rehabilitation or updating the functional utility, the overall livability is somewhat diminished due to the condition, but the dwelling remains usable and functional as a residence. Okay. And note, some significant repairs are needed to improvements due to lack of adequate maintenance. Kind of fits the bill for this house, right? But here's the deal. Freddie and Fannie will not take an appraisal that's a C5. It has to be C4 or better. So I didn't know this, and I'm like, well, this appraiser sucks because he's, calling for paint, calling carpet. Why do we need to do that? I've done mini loans. Well, the problem is you saw the house, it's a C5. And it's pretty much common theme through appraisers to know if it's a C5, they need to fix it up. And so that's the reason why they did that. Okay. So then it came to me, I'm like, what am I going to do? How can I help you guys out? Well, I know the listing agent. I said, hey, here's what the C5 is. Here's what's going on. I talked to my underwriter. Here, this is something you probably haven't seen before. So this is why they're doing it. So we can take it over the loan, but we're going to have the same issues on the appraisal. Okay. So what's the solution? Seller didn't want to do anything. Like we're selling it was an estate sale. So I said, look, just fix it up. Are you okay with it? Sure. So anyhow, we had the buyer and a couple other people go out there and fix it up. Go to paint. That's all you do is go to paint. They pulled the carpet off hardwood floors. Check that out.
Redid the ceiling.
That ceiling's tile. It was easy. So those are the kinds of things that we can do. A, because I knew both parties, right? It was, hey, how about this? How do we make this work, right? So again, if you get appraisals like that and you don't understand it, that's probably really, if you have something like that, just be prepared. Maybe it's something easy fix. I think they got this done less than $4,000. And the house looks completely new. I mean, look at that.
And the seller had to grant permission for the buyer to be able to hire a contractor to do the work. So make sure you got it in writing and they understand the full responsibility and risk involved in allowing that to happen. Buyer.
In addition to the loan.
Yeah, it's a great house. I mean, it was a great house. It's got good bones. It's just that they're gonna do it anyway.
Yeah.
So it's just when you get a head start on it, and as long as all parties agree to it, and again, it was a estate sale, so they want to get rid of it. The buyer wants to buy it. How do we facilitate this and just have the open communication? And me as the lender is just like, hey, here's what's going on. Let's just get past it, and get it done. So that's kind of how we help things like that, right? Out of the box thinking. I'll also have some other ones for the next meeting, different ways that we can help increase that.
Yeah, this was amazing.
Isn't it great? I need to put in my house. So the appraiser goes out there, goes, no problem, done. Right? Easy peasy. But yeah, that's and then here's my thought of the day. Bummer of a birthmonth, Hal. You need anything? I'm right over there. Thank you. Oh,
There
we do have one.
Thank you.
Oh, you have four? Oh,
In there.
I did not.
That's the more you know.
Oh,
Trivia.
okay. Oh, sorry. My trivia. Okay, who's the best one here? Okay. Slogans. Company slogan. Okay?
Right.
Raise your hand if you know. Once you pop, you can't stop.
Pringles.
Nicely done. You can't eat one. Good job, Pete.
Awesome.
I got my lottery ticket on. Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good info. Brother. All right. We're gonna wrap things up. Upcoming events, lots of good stuff coming. Forms class tomorrow. Seller financing addendum. We're doing that 22C form, quite complicated form. We'll be doing that one here from 10 to 11:30 in the Sky Lounge. That will be on Zoom and live. Next week will be 22D optional clauses. Go through that. Then we have Tech Thursday on Thursday. That is Zoom only from 10 to 11 a.m. They're going over JLS Engage mobile app and contacts. So anybody need CRM help, that'll be on Zoom. Then on Monday, we have Kelsey Ann Curtis coming in from Robbinswood Financial. She's going to do the tired landlord exit strategy. This is great for some investors or people who want to sell off their properties and park the money in an investment, DST, to be able to still get residual income and shelter some of that tax. So some good ideas for strategies for your clients. Definitely be good for that one. And then we've got Trent Stonehouse coming back, our Google guru, for Thursday, August 27th from 11 to noon, Zoom only. He's going to do 5 secrets to turn your Instagram profile into a listing machine. His last class was packed and people stayed for like an hour and a half after. So I'm hoping this will be another really good session. It'll be on Zoom only, but we'll be meeting here to be able to present that. Then we have a game night, save the date, September 11th from 4 to 8. Poker, left, right, center, cornhole, Mario Kart, and more. So we're just gonna have fun, get together, show up. That's all you gotta do. And then last, here we got NARUP is coming next month from September to the 14th through the 16th. I'm flying out on the 13th. You are too, right? So this is going to be in Vegas. It's at the Bellagio. Go with us. Show up. NARUP event is way different than Tom Ferry. Tom Ferry, is probably 99%. It's all brokers. This event is different because it's lenders, it is brokers, it's attorneys, it's insurance people. So it is like the probably mecca of networking. I'm still getting transactions from referrals of people I met in Florida and in San Diego. It's crazy. So stuff like that is just one of those added things I'd say, why is it different? Why is it fun? But we go out, have fun. This year it's in Vegas. We'll see. They said they would never put it in Vegas again, but they must have got a really good offer to be able to host it there. But past 2 years have been in San Diego, and the year before that was in Miami. So it's a lot of fun.
Hard to top Miami though.
Miami was very, that was okay. We'll leave it at that. But come with us. I know there's like 4 other people who have already committed that are trying to find rooms, I think, right now. But
And if not,
yes.
Battle of the Barristers.
Oh, yes.
We have 5 tickets left on our table. So if you want to go to the Battle of the Barristers, which is sold out already, I think.
I think it did sell out.
I think
I think they said they had like 50 tickets left or something.
it sells out pretty
selling
quick.
out.
If you want to go, just come talk to me. I have 5 tickets left. So,
And it's during the same time we'll be in Vegas, so we won't be there.
but
Uh,
Jim will be there.
In your handouts, there is the October 20th. It's from 10 a.m. till 3 p.m. This is the state of the industry, Seattle real estate. It's already 60% sold out, but you get clock hours, lunch, and everything at the Museum of Flight. There's a bunch of groups putting it on. John L. Scott's one of them, Northwest MLS. So that'll be another huge event, but that one's going to sell out for sure too. So that's in your handout. So got that in there as well.
When is this?
It is going to be October 20th. So make sure you got that. And then, of course, we have clock hours, 56 Washington clock hours for $300 if you want to do the whole activator. But if you want just free clock hours on August 21st and 28th, that's the next 2 Fridays in a row. That is the Washington State Purchase and Sale Agreements. 2-course, you get 14 free clock hours. So if you need clock hours, next 2 Fridays, be good. You got to register for that one. It's free. And then last but not least, we got Zillow Showcase. John L. Scott and Zillow Showcase have now done 1,200 of the brand new showcase. So 1,200, that's the most of any company, they said, ever across the whole US. So we've got the most on there. So that's definitely a seller advantage. So those are still going strong. You can obviously do Virtuance. Virtuance is allowing you guys to order now and pay at closing. Has anybody done that yet? So you can do the full Zillow package through them. Pretty good deal. Coverage areas are expanding. Portland is finally getting a lot more. And then Western Washington expanding as well. Cost $4.99 for that prestige package from Virtuance. And like I said, you can pay for it at closing.
Homes.com has some too.
Yeah, they do.
Homes.com.
Homes.com, a little different. JLS.com update. This is kind of cool. This is in your handout. Scout. John L. Scott is going to have an AI chatbot that is going to try to convert leads automatically. So chatbot isn't a new technology, but this is more of a new advanced. John L. Scott has not ever had anything like this, but they're going to test it through onto their own homepage first, see how that goes. becomes possible options for the future for broker development. But there's a whole thing about how does it work, what it's going to be doing in your handout. And with that, I've got our quote of the month. What you get by achieving your goals is not as important as what you become by achieving your goals. That's a Zig Ziglar. All right, that is it, you guys. Thank you for making it. Appreciate your time.